Men have been making sophisticated scale model boats for hundreds of years. The museums of Europe and the UK are full of beautiful ships, bridges, churches, which capture the technology of their time. These detailed models provide us with a marvellous historic time capsule, as well as being a lot of fun for the model makers. Let's meet Ian Johnson, who may just be recording history of one of Sydney Harbour's most famous ferries, the South Steyne.
My name's Ian Johnson. I've got a 1/32 working radio-controlled model of the South Steyne here. It was built about 10 years ago. It was my first attempt at model boat making. I had a great interest in it. It was really known, I suppose, as the Queen of the Sydney Harbour when it was running. It's probably it's an icon of Sydney Harbour. It's probably the most famous of all Manly ferries. And another thing is that it's still in existence, albeit as a floating restaurant at Darling Harbour. It is actually capable of going. Wow. This took about 2,000 hours spread over about 18 months. It's a model steam engine which I had specially commissioned to fit within the parameters of the model. You can buy standard engines, but they wouldn't fit in here with all the inside still in it. Well, I like the challenge. It's not so much, part of it is the building. What I do love or enjoy is the research. I suppose for every hour you would spend model making, you'd spend at least another hour or two researching to make sure that you've got the thing accurate. I had an old acquaintance who I knew had a great interest in the South Steyne, and when I decided I was contemplating building it, I rang him, and he had a copy of the original shipyard drawings. I went over onto the South Steyne, got to know the fellow that owns it now, the restaurateur, and he gave me free rein over it to look at it. Of course, a lot of things were different because it has been changed. It turned into a restaurant. But of interest were quite a lot of old photographs of it. Well, I suppose you've got to have ability with your hands, but I think it's your brain. You've got to connect the brain to the hands, and you've got to also have a fine eye for detail and have a sense of history, particularly in something like this, so that you can do it accurately. Yeah. But no, I don't think I'd ever be selling it because you'd never get the value of it, what it would be worth if you actually commissioned someone to build it. It's powered by a steam engine which is fired by LP gas. It's got a gas cylinder in it, but the whole lot is radio controlled. There's a 6-channel radio which is here. This is the transmitter, and this has got various functions. It's got rudders, forward, reverse, it's got lights. The whole thing is that there's 120 lights on the outside and the inside. This is the LP gas cylinder which fires the model. There's the controller here, the radio controller. The burners are here, twin burners operating on 2 boilers here which are half full of water. There's a feed pump on the back of the engine here which pumps water from these feed tanks. It'll run the model for about 20 minutes. Here is a small album of showing this model's construction from the early stages. Here it is, the beginnings of the plug, the various stages of the plug which was used to make the fiberglass model of the hull. Here's the mould for the hull. Here's the actual hull as it came out of the mould. These are deck moulds. Here's this thing taking shape here. Well, none of these are overeaten. They eat money, these models. Different thing.